All right. Says we're live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know, and we will get this started. This is probably my favorite slate of the season, at least on paper. Obviously, can't really control what happens during the race, but I do think this looks like a pretty fun slate overall. We have lots of really good chalky options, but I do think the chalk is just really good today, so I'm definitely going to be eating quite a bit of it. I will be going overweight on it, and even the sims say that the chalk is probably still good to be overweight on, so I am perfectly fine with that. Definitely a fun slate to break down here, and really looking forward to it. Xfinity race was awesome. Trucks race was fun to watch. Well, Xfinity was very boring, but it was really good for DFS purposes and whatnot. Loud and clear, awesome. Got it from Andre. What's up, spreader? Let me make sure I get everything put together here and pull up Twitter on my end. Pull up Bob's Twitter, so make sure I don't miss anything. Although, pretty sure the only news we have is Nemechek's to the rear. Who cares? Blaney's to the rear. Please don't ask me if that changes anything. And then I believe we also have Christopher Bell, which might spark some questions, but honestly, I don't care that Bell's going to the rear. I think by the time, stage 2, stage 3, he'll be right where he needs to be. All right, I saw some donos earlier. Let me get to those first, and then we will get into it. I have already built my single entries, my 3 maxes, entered some lineups into 20 max and whatnot. I always enter my hand builds into the large field stuff first, and then I, use the optimizer and whatnot to fill out the rest, because I'm not hand building the entire one. But I want to get my hand builds in there just in case. All right, guys, done from CGen. As always, I do appreciate that, sir. Says, do you think you can push the 3 DOMs or stick the 2 in PD? I think 2 is probably the best route to go. Although, when we say DOMs today, I feel like it's just all it's like a big hybrid group, like Larson, Reddick, Byron, Hamlin. I was going to say Elliott. I don't think Elliott's going to be a Dom today. But Chastain, all these guys have Dominator upside, but they're starting outside the top 10 for the most part. So I don't really have any Dom groups today, because these guys are just going to be put into my lineups anyway. But for the most part, in my builds, I am seeing 2 DOMs, and then Blaney usually gets filled in as well. I don't have 100% Blaney today, but he's very, very, very high up there. It's very hard to get away from him today. And then Dan asks who the Dominators are. I think the most likely lap leaders today, Larson, Byron, Reddick. Denny will be up there. Joey Logano, I mean, yes, he is in the Dom pool for me, but I'm just personally probably not playing him today. He might sneak his way into a few lineups, but I'm not going my way to play Joey Logano. I just think these guys behind him are much quicker. They should be stronger during the race. And they offered me the PD upside. I don't really see too much upside here with Joey Logano. So I would put him, if you're making a pool of Dominators, I would throw him in there, but you're probably not going to get too much of him. At least that's what I would think. All right. Okay, scroll to the top here. What's up, Mom? Have a good race, everyone. Good luck to you all. Let's go, Joey. Well, just got done slandering Joey, so I probably shouldn't have read that one right after, but thank you for being here, Mom, as always. What's up, Lena? Just saw this on Bob's post. Bell, Nemechek, and Blaney to the rear. See you in a bit. Yep. I believe those are the only things that we have news-wise. They did repair the Blaney car, so it's completely good to go. Nothing to worry about there. And we talked about it. He had a really good long-run car in practice. I mean, when you're starting 36, it's just, you pretty much have to play that. Very hard to get away from. What's up, Ryan? Who are the must-play DOMs and the PD plays / scrubs for DK Cash? Thanks. I think there is one perfect lineup today in cash games. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to cash, but it's my optimal, and I feel like everyone's very easy to land on that. I mean, you're just taking 2 of the big dogs in Kyle Larson, William Byron. You have Ross Chastain, you have Ryan Blaney, and it seems like you're using all of your salary at that point, but you're really not, and it's very easy to make the rest of that do. So I do think that's the route most people go in cash games, and I would say the 3 highest owned drivers today are most likely going to be Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Larson. Now, I recorded 2 versions of the video I posted yesterday because I messed up, so I had to redo it. So I forget which version I posted, but I did say I was hoping Ross Chastain in one of the versions that I was hoping he was going to be around 20-25% owned because of the way roster construction looked like. Well, once I ran projections, ran ownership projections and whatnot, that is not the case at all. I think Ross Chastain is going to be extremely high owned today. I think he maybe pushes 40% ownership. I mean, you get the combination of his starting position, his price tag, his track history, and he was obviously extremely fast in practice. I mean, he had everybody beat by 2/10 in the single lap and was still very quick in the short run. And overall, just a very strong car. So he's going to be extremely chalky today. So if I forget anything I said, if that's the video I did post. And I do think the most likely lap leaders for stage 1, at least early on, is probably going to be Joey Logano, but I am fine letting him lead some laps because I do think once he gets into traffic, based off the practice speeds we saw on Saturday, he just really didn't look that impressive. He's usually pretty good at qualifying, so I'm not overly surprised he qualified well here at Vegas. I know he's won here before, he's done well, but I really think that guys like Byron, Larson, Reddick are just going to be a lot stronger. I can pull up their practice speeds. If we just look at the average lap data here, I mean, do I think Joey Logano is going to be like one of the worst cars in the track? No, but he had some pretty poor practice speeds overall. I was not impressed with what we saw. We have guys like William Byron looked really strong. We mentioned this in the video, but Ryan Blaney fired off really bad, but long run lap speed for Ryan Blaney was honestly pretty good. The fall off wasn't there. Hocevar was fast. Alex Bowman Alex Bowman actually has an outside chance of being an early dominator. In this race, he is someone I'm targeting in tournaments, probably more so on FanDuel, just because of the way scoring works over there, but I do think he's playable on DraftKings. Reddick was quick. Larson, Chastain. Sure, Logano will have the track position to start, but I really don't think once these guys are able to move their way up there, I really don't think he's going to hang and be like a fast lap merchant or just someone that leads 200 laps today. I don't really see that being the case. If it happens, I guess so well for me, but I can't play everybody, and I really don't. Joey does not seem too intriguing today. What's the chalk look like on DraftKings? I guess I answered that one, but Ross, Larson, and Ryan Blaney. I assume that's going to be the core 3 for most people, and I'm here for it. I don't think it's bad chalk. I think it's good chalk, and I want it. Who do I have to win? I have a very slight edge on William Byron to win over Kyle Larson. We're talking a matter of I believe a decimal point or two. It's 6.88 versus 6.99. Just to be transparent, I do have several bets today, a lot of sprinkles on outrights. I bet earlier in the week. I have not made anything post-qualifying because I really like where I'm at right now. But I got William Byron to win. I don't think any of these are a full unit besides the top 10 bet. But I have William Byron to win at plus 1,000. Obviously, I think he's the best car here in Vegas today. So, gotta love that number. I have Hamlin to win at plus 1,000. Didn't get good line movement on that one, but it is what it is. Then I have 2 I really like. I have Bowman to win at plus 2,800 and then Chastain to win at plus 2,400. And I feel very good about those. I don't feel very good about them winning, but I feel very good about the line movement we got. And then I have Chastain at plus odds at plus 120 to get a top 10, which is probably my favorite bet that I have. So hopefully those go well. And hopefully one of the winners I can nail. I'm hoping it's not Larson. I hope Larson crushes today, but I'm hoping Byron or someone can sneak in at the end. What's up, 5-star? GPP, more confidence in Keselowski, Gregson, or Bowman and Haley? I will take... it's pretty tough. I think Keselowski and Gregson might project slightly better, so I will go that route. But it's a good question. I do like all 4 of those drivers. I think Noah Gregson's actually a very solid tournament play. If we look at some of his practice speeds in the consecutive lap runs, Gregson did not look too bad at all. 6th in the 1, 12th in the 5, 11th in the 10. Some overall pretty decent speeds. And just based off of pricing, I don't think a ton of people are going to get there because we have Carson Hocevar starting in 25th. He looks like an awesome play today. We have Justin Haley right below him, who should pick up quite a bit of ownership. So I do like him as a pivot in tournaments. What's up, Andy? Good luck to you all today. Good luck to you as well. What's up, Trent? What's up, Tony? Says, Bell's going to the rear. Do we still play him? It doesn't change anything. Bell going to the rear, I wasn't expecting him to be an early dominator anyway. He'll be a threat stage 2, stage 3. He won't get stuck in the back all day. Although I will say, out of the 10K driver, he's probably my least favorite. And that was going in before the going to the rear. So I'm not fading Bell per se, but he will probably be my lowest of the Hamlin, Byron, Reddick, Larson, Bell group. Oh, that's a big dono. Appreciate that. Let's see who it is. Oh, from Shady in Discord. Says NASCAR content goat on fire this year. No one improves their content like you. Year in and year out. Triple Crown chance today. Let's see what happens. I really appreciate the dono, Shady. For real. Thank you so much. And I'll give the background on this. Shady is going for the Triple Crown today for, I guess you want to call it the NASCAR DFS Triple Crown. He took down the large field tournament for trucks on Friday. He took down the large field for Xfinity on Saturday. And we're going forward on Sunday. And I think last week he took down the Xfinity large field pool. So he's like the hottest man in DFS right now. So hopefully we all do well. But I am rooting for Shady to get that Triple Crown because I don't know if anyone's ever done that in DFS before. So that would be pretty sweet. But yeah, Xfinity was awesome yesterday. Had someone win $1,000, another person won 10,000, I think, on the spotter. So I do the Xfinity and truck content as well. Just don't do it for YouTube because I don't think really anybody cares. But if you do sign up on Patreon, all the projections and whatnot, I do cover trucks and Xfinity when they have races because they don't race every single week. And if you want to check out all the content, you can get a free trial in the link that I pinned on this chat. If you are a new user, tons of content over there. Have the FanDuel Optimizer now as well. We have the Contest Sim Tool, which is incredible, which I would highly recommend checking it out because it's probably the cheapest contest sim tool you can find out there. So yeah, shout out to Shady. Shout out to everyone that crushed last night in Xfinity, and hopefully we can keep the good times rolling because it was a good one. It was a really boring race too, and that's what I like. I know it sucks to watch, but when races are boring and things happen that should happen, they tend to pay off pretty well. All right. What's up, Hockey Freak? Let's make it rain green all. Hopefully. That's a good one. It's really hard to get different today just due to the fact that the good plays are very good plays for a reason, but I do think there is some nice pivots we can make. Like guys that I'm going to be very overweight on in GPPs. I know William Byron's going to be pretty chalky, but I am planning on being very overweight on Byron, overweight on Bubba Wallace. I'm going to try to be overweight on Alex Bowman on FanDuel. Another guy that we mentioned him, but I do think Noah Gregson's a pretty intriguing GPP play as well. Is Bell really going to the rear? Yeah, Bell will be in the rear today. But like I said, it's not going to change much. What's up, Chris? Says Blaney, Byron, Chastain, Haley, Herbst, and Larson for cash. Well, there you go, guys. That is your chalk lineup for the day. That's my current optimal. I would be surprised if it's not everybody else's current optimal. If not, it's probably very close. Maybe take out, maybe someone that has Reddick over Byron. I don't know what the pricing would work on that, but that is a very, very good cash lineup today. And you're probably going to be holding hands with many, many people. But it's a great lineup. I mean, you get the 4 big dogs that everybody wants to play today. And then Justin Haley, I'm surprised he fits. And then Riley Herbst, who we haven't seen him at a 1.5 mile track yet in this 2311 car. But I mean, I think there's probably some top 20 upside in there, top 25 upside. What's up, Bradley? I was getting over the hump from last weekend, and I finally did last Sunday. Tied for first in the $4 20 max for $5,500. Finally had a late caution. That's awesome, Bradley. I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that worked out for you. It's always nice when you finally get rewarded at the end when there's a late caution, because I feel like every single time there's a late caution, it's always all of us that end up getting screwed. So I'm really glad that helped you out. Made for an intriguing ending, at least. Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin, a nice drag race at the end. And I do think the option tires made the race fun, because let's be honest, if there was no option tires, that just would have been a brutal race. But we still got the deserving winner. I think Ryan Blaney or Christopher Bell probably had the best car, or William Byron. Tough to say what would have happened with Joey Logano, because he did clear early on. Ended up having to go to the back because of the penalty, but definitely think the guy that probably deserved to won, and then we still had some fun during the race, so I think it worked out for everybody. Got another dono here from Pebcac. Appreciate that. Says, awesome content this year. Thanks. Yeah, Pebcac. I mean, right there with Shady. Pebcac took down, I forget what contest it was, the spotter. He won 10K yesterday. Posted it, said he was at a birthday party, didn't notice until the end. So, yeah, it was a great day yesterday. Shout out to Pebcac. I was tied for first in the Chrome Horn yesterday in Xfinity, but then Ryan Ellis decided to have an electrical issue, so it bumped me down a bit. It was still a good day, but man, that sucked. Because it was, we were cruising pretty much the entire race. What's up, Kevin? Who are my top 5 most exposed? So I've only did my hand build so far, so I have not yet built my MMEs. I like to do that after I talk to you guys because it makes me feel better about my lineups and what to do. But I'm currently expecting right now my top 5 highest owned. Blaney will be the highest, then probably Chastain, And then I'm just dumping in a ton of Kyle Larson and William Byron. I know that's extremely chalky, but it's what I like today. It's what the projection's like. And they're still showing some positive leverage despite the ownership. So I am just going full send on those guys. And then I talked about some of the GPP pivots I do like. But we'll have to see what the final tally ends up being. But I can pretty much guarantee who the top 3 will be. What's up, CJ, all the way from Hawaii? Thank you for making it in. Looks like Dale Earnhardt sent a dono. Let's see who it is. Appreciate that, sir. Says, happy Sunday, everyone. Here's my DFS lineup. Bush, Chastain, Haley, Larson, Nemechek, and Reddick. That'll definitely be a little bit different. You're certainly missing some of the chalk pieces for sure. And Kyle Busch I don't think Kyle Busch will get too much ownership today at his price point and where he's starting. So it's definitely a way to get different. This is his home track. He does run well at these types of tracks. And last year, I'm pretty sure I remember playing him. I want to say he started in the 20s. He was actually pretty quick, but had a speeding penalty or something at the end of the race. Ended up skewing his finish because it went green. But I think that if there's a track to play Kyle Busch, this is certainly one of the ones to do it at. Another dono here. Appreciate that. Nicholas Hagen says 3 Hendricks rostered on FanDuel, followed by Ricky Stenhouse. Too much. Love the content, brother. Appreciate that. I'm actually toying around with the idea of playing Ricky Stenhouse on FanDuel. He projects really well for me on DraftKings. FanDuel, I mean, yes, for the cheap plays, he's probably one of the better ones because I do think Ricky's hard to get right a lot of times because sometimes he's just parking in at 30th all day. But then at these tracks, you'll see him randomly pop up like with the P13 at the end of the day. It's like, where the heck did Ricky come from? And I do think this is one of those tracks, these larger intermediates where Ricky can have some success at. So I don't mind it on FanDuel, but just know he's going to have to definitely hover around the top 20 for that to work out. But I have been toying around with the idea. I did not personally do it in my hand builds. I think the lowest I got in a hand build was potentially Carson Hocevar. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He's $7,000. I don't think I went lower than that in some of my hand builds. But I'll probably end up dipping. Let me sort this by FanDuel. I'm probably going to dip my toes around Noah Gragson. I'm going to force him in some. And I might get to some Justin Haley. But yeah, I would definitely say Stenhouse is probably the lowest I would go over on FanDuel. It just doesn't feel great. Because on FanDuel, you need those guys that can get in the top 10. But it can't work out. And one thing I wanted to mention, I believe in the video on Saturday, I kind of glossed over Chase Elliott. But once I ran some builds, I don't mind him on FanDuel. He isn't one of my single entries just because of the price point. Starting in 16th, his practice speeds are borderline top 10. If he can get me a decent finish, hover around top 10, I would take it. I do think he's a better FanDuel play than he is on DraftKings, but either way, I did kind of up my likeness on that. But I don't really think I changed my mind too much on any of the other drivers. Unfortunately, Ty Gibbs is in my single entry over there on FanDuel just because of the price point, starting in 29th. Does not feel good at all. I would kind of like to swap to Hocevar, but I typically always play my optimal. And Ty Gibbs is slightly edging out Carson Hocevar, but I did put Hocevar my other one. So we'll see what happens. I mean, eventually Ty Gibbs has to have a good race, right? Eventually. I know the practice speeds weren't there. I know the qualifying speed wasn't there. I know the speed hasn't been there for a long time, but man, he's been really good at these track types. I just feel like he's got to be a top 20 car today. I haven't projected around 17th, and obviously that might be a little bit on the low end, but from what we've seen from Ty Gibbs in the next gen car at these types of tracks, I mean, he's been way better than a 29th place car. So I'm hoping we can get a cheap JGR guy to move up, and I'll take it. I totally understand if you don't want to follow me on that because he has sucked. What's up, Rick? Happy race day, folks. Thinking Larson is going to stink the race up today. Mass domination. I mean, I hope Larson crushes. I just hope he doesn't completely stink the race up. I'd like to get some multiple dominators in there, like William Byron leads 100, Larson leads 100, someone else gets 20 or 30. I think that'd be a little bit better. But obviously Larson in Vegas has just been downright incredible. What's up, Mundo? We prioritize DOMs or more PD drivers today? I mean, it's definitely not one or the other. I think it's just a blend of both. And a lot of these DOMs today are starting a little bit further back. Like, just because someone starts, say, 10th, doesn't mean they're like not in the DOM group. Like, I do think the DOMs will probably be a bit spread out today. Guys just sharing fast laps, and I think we'll get several leaders today. I would say the most likely guy to lead early on is Joey Logano, then probably Bowman and Kyle Busch, but once they get these bigger dogs heading towards the front. I really do think they'll kind of shut the door on them and they'll fade back a bit. I do think Bowman can hang though. I mean, Bowman looked quick. He's the cheapest Hendrick car, and Hendrick looks extremely good today, so I do have interest in him still, even though he's starting pretty far up front, but I think he can hang around that top 6 today. And he has won in Vegas in the Next Gen era before anyway, too, back in 2022. You have a feeling Kyle Busch is going to do good today? We'll see. I just can't get too much of him just because of the price point and the starting position. I just believe in other guys a little bit better based off of what we've seen Saturday, but it is his home track. He does have that going for him. Got another from A right down there. Sorry, just scrolled. Hamlin or Larson, and why? Thanks, Chris. You demand. You demand as well. I would go with Larson today. Looks like he has a faster car. He crushes Las Vegas. Definitely like Larson today. I mean, no disrespect to Hamlin. Hopefully Hamlin didn't use up all of his luck at the slot machines the past couple of weekends. Or I'm sorry, the past couple of nights. He won 126K in slots on Friday night, I believe. And then last night he won some more. I think he won like another almost 100K. So he's been on fire in Vegas. We'll see if it ends up either fizzling out today or it just keeps on going. But I do like Larson quite a bit. All right. Sorry, I had to scroll back up. I had to make sure there was no donuts lingering down there, and I found one. So, Tom says, "What do you think about Ryan Blaney today?" Oh, I mean, best play on the slate, pretty much. I ended up wrecking it in practice, but he had a very strong car in the long run. He's only $9,300 on DraftKings, $11,000 on FanDuel. Pricing is very soft today. Super easy to play Ryan Blaney. And if Ryan Blaney does not wreck today, he's probably in the optimal lineup. Is there a chance he could wreck? Yes, everybody has that chance, but I'm just going to play it to where I can't control how these guys drive or I can't control what happens. So I am just slamming Blaney today, and I'll make my peace if he ends up wrecking. You just can't control it. And I do think William Byron will lead some laps today at some point. His car is extremely good. Briscoe is a pivot to the Chastain chalk. Oh, man. I mean, he's technically a pivot, but Ross looks so much quicker. He's really good at this track. I'm just eating the Chastain chalk. Personally, will I have some Briscoe exposure? Yes, but I'm definitely a lot more heavy on Chastain today. So I'm saying, like, the chalk just looks great today. I mean, usually we have some chalk that's like, there's definitely some pivots, but it just looks so good. And I always tell people, just because someone's chalk doesn't mean they're a bad play. Like if you played Xfinity yesterday, Al Kyer was extremely chalk, so was Amarola, so was Austin Hill. They're still optimal. I mean, all it takes is a couple of pivots down there. Like just play Kyle Sieg, who's 5% owned compared to one of the other chalky cheap guys, for example. Like you can still play chalk and get different at the same time. Got a letter from TJ, appreciate that. Says, my current build has 0 top 10 starters, Bell being the highest, Blaney being the lowest. Thoughts? I think that's fine. I'd like to hear what maybe the rest of your lineup could potentially be. But if you like made a build of, say, Christopher Bell, it sounds like, you have Christopher Bell. Maybe you have Denny Hamlin. Maybe you have Reddick as your second guy. Maybe you have Blaney. And then, I think that's totally fine. Totally fine. The only guys I'm interested in the top 10 really today are William Byron, of course, and then Alex Bowman. I don't think I'm leaving anybody else out. No. It's pretty much what I like on the top 10. Bowman and William Byron, the 200 cars. So I think that's fine. Yeah, thank you for the dono. Yeah, real racing. I mean, Phoenix was a real race, but at the same time we had the option tire, so there was still a twist. This is our first legit real race, normal schedule of the season, so I'm looking forward to that. Thoughts on Briscoe wrist injury? I mean, I didn't know he had a wrist injury, but I will say a couple years ago at a dirt race, he was dealing with like a really injured wrist. Everyone was talking about it. I just played him anyway, and I think he almost won the race, so I don't really think it's a big deal. Tom says he has Blaney and Byron going under in fantasy. What do you think about that? I mean, I like them a lot today, so I can't say I'm going under. But I don't know what you mean by under on fantasy. I don't know what like point projection you're talking about or what site you're on, so I guess that would be very context-based. But I do like them a lot today. She just says, Chris's hair makes you run faster and jump higher. Good. Yes, love Justin Haley today. In cash games specifically. I think he's a really good cash play. He should be a borderline top 20 driver, at least top 25 and starting in 33rd. His teammates have speed. One's on the pole. One's Carson Hocevar, who had really good runs in practice. I think Haley will be all right. James says, my first time watching Chris today. What's up, James? My first time talking to you then. Hopefully it went well. What's up, Joe? Happy Sunday, CP. May I please have your Dom hybrid group and how much cash you leave at most for the flagship 20 max? I don't think this is a great slate to leave a ton of money on the table. I mean, the good plays are up there for a reason. I would say the Dom hybrid group would be probably going to almost be in order here, but Bell, Larson, Reddick, Byron, Hamlin, Logano. I'd put Bowman in there. I'd put Chastain in there. I think I said Logano. I mean, Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch, they're teetering the line to be thrown in there. I mean, you could throw them in there for good measure. But no problem. What's up, Conscious? Savage says late. I'm definitely late. What's up, Justin? Let's have a day. Let's do it. Sounds like a good idea to me. What's up, Spread? What's up, Robert? Don't forget the thumbs up like I did. Yeah. Leaving me a like. This helped me out. Sorry, 1 second. 530 live viewers. That's the most I've ever had. So thank y'all for hanging out with me. Hopefully I'm boring you too much. What's up, Alex? Says, if Blaney wrecks out, there goes a good chunk of the tournament field. I mean, that's absolutely true. But it's pretty much what you need to have happen. You pretty much need him to wreck. And I can't tell you if that's going to happen or not. I mean, there's a ton of risk to have when you don't, both ways. Like if you don't have Blaney, if he just stays clean today, he's probably going to be in the top 12. The car really did look good in the long run before he ended up wrecking it out. A few guys in the rear, Christopher Bell, John Hunter Nemechek, and Ryan Blaney. Don't think anybody else has been added. And I'll be honest, I don't usually care if guys go to the rear unless they're like starting in the first few rows and we expecting them to dominate. Like if Logano went to the rear, I mean, that obviously would kill him. Last week we had Michael McDowell starting. I forget where it was. I think it was in the top 5, top 6 maybe. He ended up going to the rear. Just pretty much delete him out of the player pool. But like if someone like starting 10th and back, as long as they're in a fast car, they can make it up. Yep, gotta have the hair on point. You know how it is. What's up, Logan? First time listener here. Let's get it? Yeah, let's do it. Rahul says, death taxes and Chris running a few minutes late to his live stream. Yeah. Gotta stay consistent, right? If I show up on time, everyone's gonna get weirded out. What's up, John? Says, who do you have finishing better head-to-head? Reddick versus Briscoe. I have Reddick probably by a decent margin. I do have a head-to-head tool that I have in, and I'll show you the probability and the fair odds. I'm not going to run that, but it's in there somewhere. But I feel like Reddick's would be a very heavy favorite on that. I have Bell over Logano, Chastain over Busch, and Bowman over Gregson. But as I always say, you gotta make sure you check the prices and make sure they make sense. What's up, Andrew? Thoughts on Larson, Byron, Blaney, Chastain, and 2 punts? Yeah, I mean, that's the cash lineup today. And then you said Haley and Herbst. I feel like everyone's playing that in cash today. I've had people in Discord be like, hey, do you like this? And I'm like, yep, it's the optimal. It's very easy to get to. So if it's easy for all of us to get to, I mean, I'm assuming most people are probably going to do the same thing. Top 3 cash play, says Ben. Pretty obvious today for, I think, the ownership. It's going to be Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain. I feel like that's most people's starting points. Very easy to fit in. Very easy to fit in another big dog with that. If the punts look good, I mean, very easy builds. And when I say easy builds, I don't mean it's going to be easy to win because everyone's going to go on the same builds. I'm just saying they're easy to make. What's up, Bull? Good afternoon, everyone. Let's hope the heater continues. Yeah, Bull's been on a heater. Taking an LOL in spring training contest. Not that I know anything about. Hello, Miss Jules. That's future wifey here. Nice of you to be here, miss. Hi, Anson. Oakley and I are on a walk while we listen to you. Happy race to everyone and go Blaney. Thank you for stopping in. Always nice to see your beautiful face. Hopefully you enjoy the walk. But yeah, our favorite driver is going to be very popular today, so all eyes on him. Oh, let's see. What's up, Charles? Pick today is Kyle Busch. I get it. Home track. I'd be surprised, though. I would be very surprised if Busch wins today. Well, maybe I shouldn't be very surprised. I think I have his fair odds at... I have him winning 5% of the time, so I guess 95% of the time I'd be surprised. You like Bowman, says Philip? I like him too in tournaments. Obviously, there's a lot of risk starting in 6, because if he finishes 12th today, it's going to suck, but I do think there's some top 8 upside there with some fast lap potential. Yeah, there's a lot of Andrews today, that's for sure. You're not wrong. Because you said that Logano wins? Maybe. I mean, just starting in 2nd, there's faster cars. I just look at the data. The data says he's not going to be as strong as these other guys. Can he look really good in stage 1? Potentially, yes, but I do think he shuffles back. Once we get into traffic, I know he's good here, but man, there's just so much more upside with these guys right above him. So I'm saying I would not be surprised if Logano looks very good in stage 1, but I do think as the race progresses, probably fade back a bit. Any bets today? I'm so far behind in the chat. I probably mentioned the bets. They're not available anymore, though. The odds have definitely moved. I think the only current value out there is some like Byron and Chastain lines personally, but it's going to depend on what price you're getting. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly fair if Blaney wrecks, but what if he doesn't? I mean, none of us know. I don't have 100% of Ryan Blaney today. I have him in 2 out of 3 max lineups. He's in both of my single entries I built, and I'm probably playing on him being around 70-80% in my 20 max, maybe a little bit lower in 150. So I'm not lock butting him, but he's going to be in almost every single one of my lineups. But there's definitely, yeah, I mean, if you wrecks, you're going to have a huge advantage, but that'll just definitely be luck based. What's up, Daily Dynasty? Roland Gibbs, Larson, Ross, Keselowski, and Blaney on FanDuel, even though Blaney's going to be 100% owned. Now, I really don't, like, I have a lot, I guess went over that, so it kind of transpired into that question, but I have a lot of Blaney today. I left them out in a few lineups because, I mean, of course, if something happens, and there's, even if Blaney does extremely well, finishes if he finishes 10th, that's great, but if you, like, nail the guys starting 1, 2, 3, could outscore him by a few points there, could make the difference. But if I'm playing a single, I'm playing Blaney in single entry today. What's up, Alex? Happy race day, everyone. Is Bowman... No, I would not play Bowman in cash at all. No, I wouldn't even think about that. But in tournaments, yes. Cash, no. Too many really good PD plays today to play Bowman in cash. What do I think about Todd Gilliland? I haven't really gotten to Todd Gilliland today. I know he's starting pretty far back, but I do think there's some faster cars down there. Are you still playing? Yeah, I'll be honest, Jose. I mean, recent performances, like, has he been running that great? No, but he's not like a bottom 30 car where he's going to just automatically wreck out every single time. So it's not something I really care about. I think, and plus this is our first intermediate track. It's not like we've had a whole line of intermediates. And if we have had a whole line of intermediates and Ty Gibbs just consistently runs around 30th, I would certainly be concerned. But this is our first one. I know practice and qualifying didn't go that well, but I'm assuming he's going to be a bit better during the race. Riley Herbst to the rear now. Doesn't change anything. He's already in the rear anyway. I wonder what they did to Riley Herbst's car. Let me pull up Bob's Twitter. Let's see. Yeah, Herbst to the rear for a throttle body change. And then we just have Bell, Herbst, and Nemechek. So Toyota party in the rear today. How much PD is too much PD? I mean, PD looks pretty good today. I don't really think there's a limit. I mean, don't just stack the back and leave a whole bunch of money on the table, but PD definitely looks pretty strong. Yeah, we got Verdansk coming back on Warzone soon. I'll have to hop back on that. Just for a little bit at least. What's up, Obi? Happy fun day for sure. What's up, Johnny? Sorry, you always leave the first message, and then sometimes it gets blocked by my pinned comments. So I do apologize. I do appreciate you always being here first, just so you know. But I skip it sometimes on accident. Anyway, Blaney and Ross, who are the best cash plays over on FanDuel? Yeah, on FanDuel. So Blaney and Ross are definitely going to be the starting points. I really like getting to Kyle Larson as my third option. And then I also really like Bubba Wallace, just because of the price on FanDuel. If you wanted to pivot down a little bit further to Brett Keselowski, I would understand that. But I definitely think that's the starting point today for FanDuel cash games. Go over Haley's practice times again. Sure. I think we have the consecutive lap averages over here. Yeah, Haley was 16th in the 1, 14th, 12. That's for where he's starting. That's good. Just a bad qualifying lap. So I have quite a bit of Haley today. Let's go, Byron. Yeah. I'm really hoping Byron can. I think Byron winning would be my largest payout for outright, so I'm definitely rooting for that. It's either that or Chastain, I think. Whichever one, I'll take either. Praisedale says you guys can have my money, but I'm playing Joey. One of us will be right. Best 2 leverage DOMs? Let me pull up my sheet because I forget exactly what it was. I don't want to show it on here though. Got to keep stuff behind the wall for the Patreon members. I mean, the highest leverage, there's still chalk, but it's showing as Byron and Kyle Larson still. Well, Byron, I don't think Byron will be as high owned as Kyle Larson, but he's still showing a ton of positive leverage. And outside of those guys, looks like Tyler Reddick would be next. What's up, Dwayne? Good luck today for DraftKings single and GPP. Do I like Byron, Blaney, Chastain, Herbst, Larson? There's that lineup again. I think everyone is playing that lineup today. So I will tell you, I love it. You're going to be holding hands, so make sure you bring some sanitizer for afterwards. Which 5K guy has the best place differential today? It's probably going to be either Stenhouse or Riley Herbst, in my opinion. Really like Stenhouse today because of the price. King What says Danny's spending all night in the slots has to be smooth. Hey, at least he's in a good mood, right? Oh, that could also be a bad thing. Maybe they were doing stuff. I don't know. But yes, Danny has been hammering the slots this weekend. Hamlin, a good pivot play? I have some Hamlin. Just talked about his casino endeavors, but starting in 15th, I mean, he's in a very similar pool to Reddick and Bell. I personally would have that ranked Reddick, Bell, Hamlin, disregarding price tag, but once you put in the price, I believe it's Reddick, Hamlin, then Bell. Yeah, the highest percentage I would have on one driver. I mean, it's definitely different each week. Today, though, we have an extreme outlier with Ryan Blaney. If you wanted to play 80-90%, I would not be against that. Will he be chalky? Yes, I do think it's good chalk today, though. It's just a matter of does he wreck or not. It's not like we're at Atlanta or Talladega or Daytona. If this was Daytona, I mean, Ryan Blaney would probably be one of the better, under leverage plays because, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. But a track like this, a bit more predictable. Sorry, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Tito says, a lot of logging out going on there, Tito, then. Haley over Gillen? I do like Haley over Gillen. Yeah, you got to disregard him, CJ. He has a Truex fetish for some reason. What's up, Depot? Happy race day, Chris. Playing on FanDuel today? I know. Hey, I like FanDuel. What would be the strategy over there? Appreciate it as always. It's basically the same kind of build. It's like the best plays on DraftKings today, Larson, Byron, Ryan Blaney. Best plays on FanDuel today. And guess what? It's Kyle Larson, Byron, Ryan Blaney. Chastain, same thing. So it's basically the same exact strategy. And it's a little bit different this week because usually we'd have like someone starting up front that we're really confident in, like a Kyle Larson starting first or something like that. Not really the case today. They're hybrid plays, so it really translates well between the two sites. Stars and Scrub Construction. Yeah, I mean, 2 cheaper drivers with pretty much 4 guys from 8K or above or 7K and above. I really like that route today. Who has the best practice times in the long run? Well, we have 2 things we can look at. We can look at consecutive lap data, which, I mean, yeah, something tells me that Ross Chastain and William Byron look pretty good. Or we can look at the overall lap by lap data here. And I have that averaged out, and then I have like their 10 best laps they put down. So these are not completely consecutive laps. But I mean, Chastain, Byron, Wallace, Reddick, Bowman, Larson, like, are you surprised about these drivers? Probably not. But I mean, there's a lot of overlap here. Oops. No surprise Cody Ware's in the deep red because he sucks. But if we have this averaged out, pretty much the same guys. Dinger showed some speed. I haven't really gotten the Dinger, but I almost feel like I should. Austin Dillon's popping up there. And it's filtering out the bad laps, just for the record. So, but yeah, I mean, the long run king, I think William Byron has the best car on paper. Chastain looks great as well. But Wallace, Reddick, Larson, Bowman. And I think those are the guys I expect to be up front at some point. They look really strong. I really like Byron today. I think very good chance we get some Byron Dominator points at some point. Let's see. Brandon says, doesn't Bell screw up lineups over Blaney? Not sure what you mean by that. If you think that he ends up getting scored from the rear today because he goes to the rear, that's not the case. He stays within 13th. That's what you mean. So no. Daryl says, well, I need a new Rolex Sprite, so let's get first today. Sounds expensive, so yeah, I definitely think you'll need to get first to afford that. Larson, Reddick, or Byron have to pick one. If I had to pick one, it's going to be Larson. Obviously, all great plays, though. CJ says, if I was on time, I'd remove all my entries. Yeah, that'd probably be a good strategy. Let's see. Not sure to do with Keselowski today. Thoughts on DraftKings GBP? I do like Keselowski on both sides, whether it be DraftKings or FanDuel. He's not going to be that low owned, though. I think he's probably hovering around 25% today, give or take. I mean, him, Ty Gibbs, and Wallace, I think all kind of are hovering around that mid-20s range. The one I'm personally the heaviest on is Bubba. Really like those practice speeds we saw. But then Keselowski and Gibbs are pretty much the same thing for me. Favorite drivers for tournaments below $6,000. There's not much down there to like, but I have found myself on Riley Herbst and Ricky Stenhouse quite a bit. I do think Ricky's a really good tournament play down there. Someone that's kind of popping in to be over leveraged on in GPPs based off the sims. For FanDuel single entry lineup, Wallace, Gregson, Blaney, Byron, Chastain. Do you prefer Briscoe or Hocevar? I do like Hocevar over Gregson, just based off raw projection. Overall, I do think it's a pretty good lineup, though. TJ says, yo, I hit on NBA $18 entry for 100K on Friday. Jeez. Awesome, TJ. That's incredible. Really happy to hear that for you. It's definitely sweet. My long shot bet is Ford as the top manufacturer. I'm trying to see what my fair odds are for that. Ford top manufacturer, I have that at plus 549. I honestly have not looked at what the odds are for that. I feel like I'm probably lower than what the book is, but we'll see. Definitely seems like a race where it'll be a Chevy or Yoda domination, and I definitely lean Chevy with the Hendrick cars. Byron's going to crash today, says Tom. You have to share your crystal ball with me. Thoughts on Cindric? Cheap. I just can't play him starting in third. There's just really no upside there. This was a short flat track. Like what was that one track you won at? Because Blaney had the, what was it? St. Louis Gateway, whatever that is. I think that's what it was. But I don't have any interest there. I do think Logano and Cindric out-qualified themselves. Should Riley be a heavy, low-cost driver? Yeah, I think Riley's a good play down there. We don't really know what he has because this is our first actual 1.5 mile track that's not Atlanta for Riley. I do think there's some top 25 potential there. His practice speeds were, I believe, probably hovering around that, if I remember right. Yeah, 23rd, 25th, 27th. I know my body's in the way. I apologize, but that's what the numbers are. Yeah, chat was awesome today. A lot of donos. You guys have been incredible. We're also at 565 viewers, which is the most we've ever had, so appreciate y'all. Rank Priest, Gilly, Stenhouse, Nemechek, and Herbst. I would probably have it Stenhouse, then Riley Herbst, then Nemechek, Gilly, Priest. I believe that's what the projections are. Chalkiest 5K guys, Riley and Ricky Stenhouse is what I'm expecting. Contra says Massey hurt me, but cashed on both lineups. Awesome. Yeah, I had a couple of Massey lineups, but I was really heavy on Ryan Ellis and Kyle Sieg. Obviously, Kyle Sieg goated, but then Ryan Ellis was doing fine. Then he ended up having to pit at the end, which cost him, I want to say, close to 10 spots, which sucked. I feel about Ty Gibbs. I'm playing some Ty Gibbs today. Pray for me, I guess, but that's what I'm doing. I probably just answered the under 6K question. Larson, Byron, Chastain, Bowman, Wallace, Herbst. Yeah, I think that can work. Obviously, there's some really chalky components to it, but I do like the Bowman, Wallace pivots there. I like that. So that can definitely work in a GPP. Paul says, look at the odds on Hocevar. What is it? Yeah, 4,500 last time I scraped it, so I don't know if that's changed yet. I don't see him winning today by any means, but he does have a fast car. From what we've seen, at least on Saturday. He didn't qualify that great, but he should be fast. I'd be pretty shocked if he's not a top 15 contender. Can you fade Blaney on FanDuel? I mean, you can. I'm not saying you should, but you can. I wouldn't, though. What's up, Gil? Thanks for your knowledge as always. Appreciate that. Your priest call was the difference in getting me a takedown. Awesome. Hey, you got lucky with the option tire, but it worked out, right? I said in the video last week, I have no idea who's going to get on the option tire and get all the fast laps, but Ryan Priest ended up working out. We had some Ryan Priest last weekend, so I guess we can't complain, right? It's nice when it's one of your drivers. But yeah, 5K range seems to be a popular question today, which I get because people are having to dip down there to fit in their dominators up top. But for me, it's Herbst and Ricky Stenhouse is what I'm getting to. Cody Ware is just so slow. The only way he gets there is if there's a bunch of DNFs. And, shout out to Catherine last week. She actually didn't do too bad because there was the DNFs. And then she was almost up to like 25th at one point. But then she ended up spinning and then, Suarez went right into her, which ended up finishing 30th. But you could have done a lot worse than Katie last week. Optimal lineup look like on FanDuel. I mean, I'll give you the top three. It's Larson, Ross Chastain, and Ryan Blaney. I know that's very chalky. That's what the optimal is. And then it's got a mix of a couple of these drivers in the 7K range. You can probably make your best guess of what that is. What's up, spread? Oh, I think I already said that anyway, but I'll say what's up again. Best place, $7,000 under on DraftKings. Well, for counting 7,000 flat, Hocevar I love today. Noah Gregson I like in GPPs. Love Justin Haley, Stenhouse, Riley Herbst. Those are like the main guys I'm getting to down there. Can you switch Herbst to Nemechek and Cash? I feel more comfortable with Herbst personally. I don't think it'd be a huge difference at the end of the day. But I like the 4 extra spots we get with Riley Herbst in the starting position grid. Because I think at the end of the day, they finish probably pretty similar to each other. What do you think the reason is for Ty's car to be so bad so far? I think they could be reason. I don't know what it is. I mean, a lot of it's just been really bad luck for Ty Gibbs. But, man, I don't know what it is. I mean, he's in a good car, obviously. I don't know. I love to have that answer, personally. But I think he can right the ship a little bit today. I'll tell you, if Ty Gibbs is not good today, like he just flat out stinks, something's wrong because he was really good at these types of tracks last year and the year before. So something is majorly wrong with the 54 car. He is not good at all today. Top 6 to win the race. I believe my order would be, pull it up. Byron first, Larson, Reddick, Bell, Chastain, and then Hamlin. That's what I got. Top 6. So the best under $7,600, just pretend everything we said before, $7,000 is applied here, but then we added Keselowski. So I'd put Keselowski at the top of that list and then everything else. Yeah, pit stop blunders always suck. I mean, unfortunately, we can't control them. It can get really annoying. I was talking about the 20 max on the Xfinity race. I had 2 lineups that were like first and third or something. One had Connor Z, and he was crushing. He was up front, and then he ends up speeding or something. Whatever it was on pit road, sucked. Couldn't get higher than, I think, 9th after that. Thoughts on Gillen? Might be a good cheap option. He just isn't really popping too much for me. I think it's because Stenhouse and them are a little bit more. We obviously didn't get too much in practice. It was 36 in the 1 lap. If you pull up the other practice data, averaged out. We had 21 laps from him, and he's just overall pretty slow. Right around here. I mean, is there worse cars? Yes, but I don't know. I mean, it wasn't too far for Riley Herbst in the average. I do like Riley a little bit more, but you can pivot to him a little bit. He's just not really someone that was popping too much for me in projections. Who would I exclude from a DK and 20 max? I mean, I'm not playing Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones. I'm not playing Zane Smith. Probably not Ryan Preece or Josh Berry. I mean, most of those guys up front that I just think end up fading back for the most part. Herbst or Reckhouse? I'll go with Ricky. What's up, Amazing Asian? Oh, got a donut from Nicholas. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I already saw that one, I think, right? I think I saw it. Let's see. Chris, thoughts on Buescher, Keselowski, or Suarez for DK cash? I think it'd have to be Keselowski for cash. Definitely he has the most PD upside of the bunch. Buescher's starting pretty far up there. Suarez, I mean, he's somewhat close to Keselowski, but give me the guy in 27th. Travis says, why do some have Haley and Herbst projected low? I don't know. I don't do their projections, so I can't really speak on it. I don't know how they do it, but I think Haley should project pretty well for their price points. Joe says he has Blaney, Briscoe, Gibbs, Haley, Keselowski, and Lawrence. Looks like a good lineup to me. I'll have to see if I get to any Briscoe. Well, I mean, I'm going to have some Briscoe, but I don't know how much it's actually going to be. I'm just, it's hard for me to get off of Ross right there. Like, I am just slamming in Ross, which obviously you can play both together, but when it comes down to it, it's like, man, I'd just much rather have Chastain today based off of practice. Chris Norfield are my go-to guys. Yeah, Neil, I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. He's a nice guy. I think he follows me on Twitter, so I have nothing bad to say about him. I know he does, I think, just NFL and NBA stuff, I think, for the most part. But yeah, he's cool. Fast Break NBA, appreciate the donut. Says Larson and Briscoe or Reddick and Elliott? Oh, I'm going to have to go Reddick and Elliott together. Seems nice, but probably have to go the Larson route just because I think the upside's a little better. Think there's going to be a lot of yellow flags today? I hope not. I have no way of knowing, but I'm hoping not. I think overall it should be a pretty boring-ish race, I guess. But I said that about Phoenix, and then we get the most cautions or most DNFs ever at Phoenix, which is great. We had that big one that took out, Keselowski, Briscoe, Noah Gragson, Justin Haley. The big one at Phoenix. Thought you've seen it all. Buescher or Dinger? Good luck today, CP. I'll take Buescher. How do I avoid? Yeah, I don't know. Definitely can't answer that. What do you think Herbst's ownership is going to be on FanDuel? Probably pretty low. You don't typically need to play those kind of drivers on FanDuel. I have it projected around 5%. Like, the way you build on DraftKings and FanDuel is a bit different because you have the one extra driver slot on DraftKings, and the way the salary is, you just typically don't want to dip down that low because you don't need to. But it'll probably be pretty low owned. Oh, just got a text from Bull here. Appreciate that. So it says Haley and McDowell teams are having issues with the driver cooling systems. Haley's car was pushed to the grid and he likely won't have any use of the cool shirt today. Interesting. I mean, I'm still going to play him, but I guess that sucks for him. But if there was ever a reason, I guess, if you didn't want to, I mean, you could use that. And I guess Michael McDowell's having a similar issue. Whatever it be. Get donut from Spreader. Appreciate that as always, sir. Says, wouldn't mind holding hands for a takedown today? Go blend, yeah. Hey, if I'm taking down, I don't mind holding some hands. Obviously, I'd like it to be unique, but I guess I'd rather hold some hands and win some money instead of not at all. Yeah, you're definitely going to need some long run speed today. Hocevar looked pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, Hocevar's got a really good car. If you're just looking at the overall lap averages, he looks really strong. Chris, you like anyone better than Buescher? Better than Buescher Pivot today? I'm not really on Buescher today because of where he's at anyway. He is pretty cheap on DraftKings. I'll give him that. Probably better FanDuel play personally, but I'd just much rather get to... Honestly, I'd rather get to Suarez, Hocevar, Keselowski, Gibbs, Wallace, Bowman. Not huge on the Buescher today. Yeah, between Briscoe or Chastain. I'm definitely taking Chastain over Briscoe. I mean, I know practice doesn't always translate to the race, but when we have data points, you have to at least look at them. And I mean, Chastain obviously was awesome. I mean, I think Buescher can kind of hover around that top 10 range. I have him finishing in the top 10 roughly 31% of the time. And you're probably thinking, well, that seems a bit low, which it could be, but there's also some other really good drivers in the field. It'll be borderline, I think. Any value on Hocevar top 10 at plus 220? Ooh, probably not. Let me see. Hocevar top 20. No, I have him fair at 384. Although that number at 220 is not bad compared to DraftKings. I think they have him at 185. But no, I'm still a little bit off on that. I think Hocevar will be like a really good top 15 car-ish today. I don't know if he's going to be quite in the top 10. You're going to want probably about 2 DOMs. Not counting Blaney as a DOM, I guess. Crypto case is like Byron to win. Me and you both. Really hoping Byron can bring it home for us today. I'm at plus 1,000. Feel pretty good about that. So hopefully we can... Yeah, I'd like Chastain or Byron to win the most, probably. I have a couple of more outrights, but those are the ones I think pay the best. Why Herbst over SVG and John Nemechek? You get a little bit extra PD spots, a little bit quicker in practice. Just a couple of reasons there. Also, the price tag is a little bit easier to get to. A little bit cheaper than Nemechek, $100, but then SVG is still $600. Palmer says it's criminal to pick Carson when potentially someone wants to wreck him every week. I mean, you can't build that way, though. Because I remember everyone all year when Hamlin and Chastain had that beef. Oh, you can't play these guys because they're going to wreck each other. And then it just never happened. So, I mean, you can't build that way. You can't build when there's stuff you just can't control like that. But, I mean, Hocevar does make people mad, though. Ain't that the truth? Who's winning this week? Hopefully Byron. Bubba or Bowman on FanDuel. I'm Bubba over there. Yeah, I mean, last year we had I'm not even talking like a little bit of debris on Byron's car on the grill. He caught like a whole tent, it looked like. Huge trash bag, which sucked. I think Byron, obviously Larson cleaned up, but I really think Byron would have been right there with him, if not better, because he looked really good. He was out front, and then I don't know how that happens. Huge trash bag right on his grill. I don't have any top 10 bets currently after qualifying. Earlier in the week, I got Chastain at plus 120 for a top 10. You're not going to get that anymore. depending on the price tag, there might be some decent ones out there, but I don't have any more. I'm just going to ride with that one. How I feel about Elliott? I think Elliott's probably a better FanDuel play than he is on DraftKings, just the way roster construction works out. James has Herps on. I don't really like the Herps play on FanDuel too much. It just, like, if he finishes 25th, that's great on DraftKings, but I just don't think it's going to get you there on FanDuel. And you really have to nail the rest. For FanDuel, I usually try to get like almost all my drivers that have top 10 potential if I can. Obviously, you can't do that all the time, but I think on this slate, you can definitely do that on FanDuel. Like a lot of my builds will have something like, for example, Kyle Larson, then you have Blaney, Chastain, then you can fill that out with Bubba Wallace and Keselowski. I think all those guys do have top 10 potential. Am I expecting Keselowski to get in the top 10? Not really, but the potential is there. For Riley Herbst, I just don't think that's going to be possible today. If it happens, great. I mean, for the DraftKings people, but on FanDuel, I don't really love it. No, that's not good. My chat froze. All right. Sorry, I don't know why. Something's overloading. Bowman or Bubba? I mean, it's great. Those are actually two of my favorite tournament plays. So it's really hard to pick between the two. Bubba projects a lot better. Starts 14 spots further back and was just equally as quick in practice. So projection-wise, it's going to be Bubba. Nick D says, Chris, thoughts on Kyle Busch? I have not heard or said too much about him. It was earlier in the stream. We had some Kyle Busch questions. It's just the starting position is really tough for me to get there. I mean, starting in fourth, it's like, man, because they can get Chase Elliott. Could he be a potential early lap leader? Yes, but I think Kyle Busch probably fades back a little bit. And then I think guys like Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Briscoe, Chastain move up. So I'm having a tough time getting to Kyle Busch. Yeah, I know it's his home track. I know it's a good track for him. Jim says McDowell will not go to the rear. Thank you for that, Jim. I'm still not playing Michael McDowell today, but I guess that was a bit in question. Thoughts on Blaney? I mean, he's going to be like the chalk monster maybe of the season starting in 36 over here. But I like it. I know it's going to be chalky, but I'm playing him. Custer as a fill-in. Oh, can we get $100 more for Riley Herbst if possible? If not, as a fill-in, I guess you could do worse, but I'd like to get $100 more there. Haley's good. Practice in the top 15, starting in 33rd. Should move up. Pretty much as simple as that, really. And overall at Vegas, in next gen, he's not been that bad. Pulling up his stuff here. Averaging 17th, run position around 20th. A couple of top 15s mixed in there. Like, we'll take a 20th today. By all means, definitely take a 20th. What's up, Geb? Greetings from Chicago. Where's my single entry leverage today? Glad your flight landed safely, Geb. Hopefully you can get the Saudi streams on the plane later. But yeah, single entry leverage. William Byron showing a ton. And keep in mind, he will be chalky, but he is showing a lot of positive leverage. And then I believe Bubba Wallace was as well. But a lot of it's just really chalky today. Ricky Stenhouse is also showing some leverage down low. Why can't you make a multiple leg parlay on FanDuel? A couple years ago at Daytona, you can blame them. They ruined it. They did like a top 10 junker parlay of like BJ McLeod. I don't even know. Dave Reagan, was he racing for that? Something stupid, right? Ends up hitting for $1 million. And I don't think we've ever been able to do it again. So that's why. Thought from Pugsley. Appreciate that. It says Byron Larson, Blaney, Keselowski, Hocevar, and the 35 car. I like that. I'm trying to see how chalky it is. Let me see. Byron Larson. I mean, it's pretty chalky, but I still think it's a good lineup. It's hard not to be chalky today. It really is. I think I'll be shocked if the winner today isn't duped. Yeah, sometimes I'm always afraid I'm going to forget what the card number is. So I got to be careful. Mike says head-to-head. Bell, Blaney, Wallace, Hocevar, Elliott. What's the head-to-head thing? I mean, in general, I like the lineup. But I'm not sure what the head-to-head thing, unless you mean like head-to-head contest. I do like that. Appreciate the dono, Nicholas. Whatever you prefer. Haley won't have a cool suit today due to a cooling system. Is it still a play or is it a fade? Also, Haley Herbst. No, I mean, it sucks for Haley, but I think we'll be fine for the race. But I mean, I do feel bad for him now. That can't be too fun. Also, Haley Herbst or Ricky John Nemechek. I'll go with the first option still. Haley and Herbst. Well, to be fair, I still haven't liked a couple of people, so we can have multiple winners at least. Let's just hope Joey Logano doesn't win. I think that'd be pretty lame. I skipped some questions. I might have to scroll up a little bit. Let me see. Chat's frozen though on my end. I can't scroll. Okay, pick one for FanDuel. Zane Smith, John Nemechek. Oh, I would probably do neither personally for FanDuel. I really don't think you need to go down that low. I would find a way to balance out just a little bit better. I don't feel too comfortable with that. Herb's hometown race. Yeah, I believe the hometown guys are Kyle Busch, Noah Gragson, and Riley Herbst, if I remember correctly. There might be others. I don't know. If so. Pretty sure that's who it is, though. All right, let me pull something up really quick. Just need to refresh Bob's Twitter. Plus my chat's frozen again. I don't know what's going on. I have a good PC. I don't know why it freezes sometimes. All right, the McDowell team will be allowed to change the driver cooling system box. Won't have to go to the rear for this change for driver safety. Yeah. Lucky him. Jack says, not gonna lie, Chris, I thought you had hair plugs for a while. I realized it was just a broccoli face. No hair plugs. No hair plugs. We did switch up the hair though. I like to mess around. Is Hamlin high owned? I don't think he's gonna be that high owned today. I'm pretty sure I have him around projected ownership 20-25%, somewhere in that range probably. Where it'll be. So, I mean, that doesn't sound too low, but it's also not that high considering we have guys like Blaney, Chastain, Larson. Max exposure in a 150 set. I mean, today, honestly, if I'm going to go 80-90% just because of Ryan Blaney, I understand that. I think everybody else probably wouldn't want to go much above like 60-70. Keselowski or Bubba today in tourneys. I like Bubba a lot in GPPs. Definitely very heavy on him. Love the speed we saw. Good at these types of tracks. I don't usually worry about Keselowski's practice speeds too much. He seems to always be a little bit better during the actual race. He's a veteran. I remember back in the day, Kevin Harvick would always sandbag and practice a little bit, and then you're like, well, he's fast. So I think Keselowski will be pretty decent. He was fast at the intermediates last year. We'll have to see what kind of speed he has today, but thoughts on Blaney, Byron, Chastain, Haley, Hocevar, and Wallace. I like all of them, so can't say anything bad about that. All right, I think I fixed my chat. It reloaded. I don't know what happened. All right. Biggest movers today? I mean, definitely Ryan Blaney. Keselowski will be up there. Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar. I think Chastain will move up. Probably like it for the mega PD plays. Chase Elliott low owned. I think he will be lower owned today. More so on DraftKings than FanDuel, but he'll probably be a bit overlooked. Yeah, Hendrick is really good here. Very good. And I will have a lot of them in my lineups because I'm assuming that's going to continue. Favorite team today? I mean, I guess Hendrick. Love Larson, love Byron. They're my top two guys as far as projected finish today, so I guess it has to be Hendrick. Like to see a little bit different. Blaney, Hamlin, Reddick, Bubba, Keselowski, Herbst. Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, I haven't really gotten too much Hamlin questions today. I feel like I haven't really got much Reddick questions today. Just to throw it out there, I really do like Reddick today. He will probably be I think after Larson and Byron, he will be my third highest. excluding Blaney, as far as like potential dominators. So I do think that's a good one. And I think if Reddick's fast, you'll probably see Bubba being fast, and then also Denny Hamlin, and then I know Riley Herbst isn't really in the same tier, but might be somewhat of a connection there. Bubba, Chastain, Larson, Byron, Gregson, and Haley. I like that lineup, Boston. Think it looks pretty good. I like the Gregson playing GP. I don't think many people are going to get there, especially with Carson Hocevar priced right by him. Yeah, Reddick should be decently high. I think he's probably roughly around 30% today. Still someone I'm trying to be overweight on. Thoughts on Hocevar versus Keselowski? I have Keselowski projected better. Yeah, I think we see a lot of duplications as well. We have to find one driver at least to get different. Yeah, that's the name of the game today. Like, if you're playing Noah Gregson, you're hoping Hocevar just gets stuck in 21st and Noah gets that random P9, and you're like, where the heck did that come from? You know, something like that. So I'll be definitely doing that in my builds. Like, I think you can build really chalky today, than just taking one guy out and pivoting. It's gonna be like the only way we can try to get different if you want to get a unique build. Oh yeah, midnight light job life. Yeah, it doesn't sound. That's a little rough on the sleep schedule. Then you take changes from the vid yesterday. Not really. I did up my likeness on Chase Elliott for FanDuel. I mean, I just like all of Hendrick today. I don't want to really exclude him too much. So it's basically the only thing. Nothing else has really changed. Appreciate that, Rely. Been a minute. Show's moved up. Great, Chris. Thank you. Thank you for being here as well. Glad you can make it. Who am I underweight to? Very underweight on Logano, McDowell. I mean, just all those, like Cindric, Busher. Who else? St. Smith, I'm not playing. Not playing Eric Jones. I'm not playing Ryan Preece. Not playing Josh Berry. I mean, that's just like first ones that come to mind. I'm going to be underweight on Kyle Busch as well. And I'm probably going to end up being underweight on Chase Briscoe. I have to see how my builds look, but I just feel like I'm going to be. But those are just the quick hitters there. What's up, Santana? Man NASCAR DFS. Thank you for being here, sir. Nice to see you. Single lineup, Reddick or Bowman? I mean, the pricing doesn't matter. I'll take Tyler Reddick there. Butler, Larson on FanDuel. I would go with Larson. Favorite DK plays under 7,500 bucks. I'm just going to rattle them off here as I scroll. So, like Keselowski a lot. Hocevar. Haley. Stenhouse. Herbst. Just hopefully that's a good list there from just picking around there from 7K down. Any dinger? So I've only built my hand build so far, and yeah, just my hand build. So I got to do my MME after this show. And I kind of want to try to get to a couple of dingers because he was impressive in practice. And the races he ran last year at these types of tracks, he honestly wasn't that bad. So I feel like I need to put a little bit of AJ Allmendinger in there. He doesn't project that great, but I feel like maybe just a couple of lineups needs to get poured in. Like, he could be one of those guys where it's like, well, shoot, all it took was playing AJ Allmendinger over Justin Haley today to get different. Oh, you're at the race? Well, hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully it's a good one, Nuke. I want to go to a Vegas race. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is like there. I know at Homestead the Wi-Fi is good, which is nice. But I don't know what it is like at Vegas. But I would love to go to a Vegas race. Top cash plays on DraftKings. Yeah, everyone's going to have the same thing. It's going to be Larson. It's going to be Blaney. It's going to be Chastain. That'd be the starting point. I would take Stenhouse over Nemechek. And I think Haley and Herbst is fine in the same lap. I really don't think it's going to be that risky because I think they'll be pretty chalky anyway. Best projected 8K and lower driver on FanDuel. I believe it's Bubba Wallace. Pretty sure. And then Ty Gibbs Keselowski, if I remember correctly. Wi-Fi is good at Phoenix. I heard Phoenix has a very good facility. And shoot, if they're going to have the option tire there, the racing might not be too bad anymore. That's obviously the one drawback about Phoenix is the racing's horrible. You've been to Kansas as well? Yeah, I mean, Kansas is probably great. I like to go to Kansas. I'd like to go to Vegas race. That'd be fun. But, I mean, the Wi-Fi facilities at Homestead are great. I have no complaints about that. I had like fast, high-speed Wi-Fi. I had like the Browns game half going on last time I was there. It was great. What's up, Peter? Appreciate the dono. Says, I'm running a core Blaney, Larson, Haley for 20 max. Making the 121 Gurney line Cindric or Busher last one in. Tell Oakley Larson sucks. That's not very nice. I'll go with Busher over Cindric though. I can't trust Cindric in third. But appreciate the donut. Wi-Fi is bad at Iowa. I could see that. I could see it being bad at Iowa. Yeah, I'm sure it is. There's probably not too many servers out there. No way Bell wins 4 in a row, right? I don't think he's going to win today. I'm not going to roll it out, though. I mean, I got him as a top 6 guy, but he'll be in the mix. I don't think it happens, though. I think it's Byron's turn to win today. If not Byron, probably Larson. Chastain Haley or Hocevar Kess? I will go with the Chastain route just because I love him today. Yeah, pricing is soft. Whether it's DraftKings or FanDuel, I feel like in years past it's been a little bit more difficult to build. But I think Ross being so cheap today for some reason, I think Ross should probably be around 9K. He's not, and that just what makes it kind of a bit easier. Blaney's not that expensive either. So, and then we have no 11K guys, so it's pretty easy just to fit some guys in. Oh boy. It's almost 2:30. Probably won't be in here too much longer. So if you have any questions, make sure you get them in. But I still have to build some laps. I believe DraftKings lock is at 3:41. FanDuel lock, I'm assuming, is at 3:30. I think it'd be a nice hour. Lawnmower man of the season, Cody Ware. I'm about to give it to Ty Gibbs. Is it horrible? If Ty Gibbs sucks today, we can give him the lawnmower plaque. But I mean, yes, in general, it's Cody Ware. What's the life-changing lineup today? I wish I knew beforehand. Hopefully enjoy, Sean. That sounds pretty good. I had some nice bacon for breakfast today. Thank you, PA. Thank you for being here. What's up, Rika? Bella's 24. Hey, you've been having a great race time. Your favorite drivers, Corey Heim and Christopher Bell, and they just can't lose. Now, that looks good, Pugsley. Hopefully it does well for you. I'll be rooting for it. Blaney, Chastain, Hocevar, Logano, Reddick, and Stenhouse. Personally, for me, I'm not really on Joey today. But other than that, I think the rest looks pretty good. Appreciate you, Woody. Thank you for being here. What's up, Daniels? Happy race day, Chris. You just caught me before I got out of here. Do I going down to Haley Herbst range more or Hocevar, Gregson, Suarez? Also, 121 single entry, Larson, Byron, and make it work, or Larson, Hamlin to fit Haley. I would go Larson and Byron to make it work. I really think they're going to be extremely strong today. And then, I mean, between the Hocevar, Gregson, Suarez range, Haley and Herbst, I like Hocevar the most, if you can afford it. Yeah, Stenhouse is fine. Especially because he's cheap. Wi-Fi is good at Charlotte. I think Spread told me the Wi-Fi is horrible at Talladega, if I remember correctly. I think Talladega is the bad one. Yep, exactly, Hans. You can have the absolute nuts lineup, and then what do you know? 3 to go, someone spins, and then 15 restarts later. All right, I don't really want to play SVG today personally. I just don't think I'm going to get there. I have to build still, but I just don't think he's going to make it. All right. I think we have over 500 here the entire time. That's awesome. Is it Homestead next week? Is that what it is? I'm not going this year, unfortunately, because it's in the spring instead of the fall. But I'm pretty sure Homestead. Martin's, I think Homestead. Either way, looking forward to that. Hopefully this race goes good today. I'm hoping it's a nice boring race. Hopefully William Byron wins, or Kyle, I don't know. One of my bets to win, I would take it. But wish you all the best. Thank you for hanging out with me. It was a great stream. Appreciate the donators. And I will see you all next time, and I wish you all the best of luck. And if you want to check out all the extra content, hit the pinned comment in here. I think it's white, at least on my end. If you've never been on Patreon before, you can get a free week, test drive all the tools. We have contest sims, optimizer for DraftKings and FanDuel, floor ceiling projections, yada, yada, yada. The Discord, it's always fun during the race and throughout the week. But we have baseball starting soon, which I'm excited about. I'm going to shut up and stop talking. I'll see you guys next time.